Hey guys, it's Josh Ellsworth with Stahls TV, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into our channel. The content you are about to watch was produced in January 2021 as part of our Heat Press for Profit virtual event. It got rave reviews, and I know you're going to love it. This is called our Show and Sell series, where we walk through some of the hottest trends in blank apparel and teach you how to print them.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I know this has been a chock full of education last couple of days. Hopefully you guys are getting some great information from all of the sessions. We're super excited for this show and sell session all around headwear. I'm Jennifer Johnson. I'm coming to you from North Texas area. I have my partner from S&S, Stefan Bear. Welcome. You guys, if you watched the bag one prior, he was a part of that. We are so appreciative of our partners, especially, partners like S&S. They donate all of these stuff that we demo, and they're fantastic people. So a little agenda for today. We are going to be kind of talking about trends in headwear, what we have seen over the last year or so. Stefan's really going to dive into some looks and some trends and what's resonating, what's growing, what they think they're going to see for 2021. We'll go through a few slides, not too many slides. I know a lot of you your eyes are probably crossing from PowerPoint at this point. And then we're going to dive in, and we're going to demo 3 different styles of headwear today on our 360 cat press. I'll do some up close. Feel free to obviously ask away in the chat box. We've got Stacy behind the scenes helping to answer any questions. And then at the end, we'll open it up for some Q&A, and we'll go from there. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Stefan, and he's going to dive into what we're seeing in headwear trends.
Well, thank you, everybody. We're so happy to be here and to partner with Stahls. So S&S Activewear, we're a nationwide distributor of apparel, headwear, bags, and accessories. So today we're going to jump into our headwear category. And what we feature is brands. And that is probably the biggest trend that is happening in our industry is people are going over to brands that they trust. And S&S's approach to the headwear business especially is we meet with these brands, and we're not making the picks. We're having the brands come to us with their best of selection. So these are backed by data. So you may see on the screen 47 brand, Adidas. So Adidas will come in and say, this is our top selling hat at a Dick's Sporting Goods or a green grass golf shop. So they'll bring that in. It's the same with, let's say, Imperial Headwear or Puma, Richardson. This is what we're seeing on field, and we'll bring in the best of the best. So when we're done merchandising, and we just released our 2021 line, which you're going to see today, is we're bringing you diversity. So you have the opportunity to match brands with the persona of your clientele. So you can display all these brands, and brands will jump out at you. But it's a wide array of retail brands, industry favorites that have been in the industry for quite some time, and then a broad array of knits. Knits are red hot right now because, of course, we're in the fall winter season. But our partners are consistently bringing us new. So much so that we'll have new additions now quarterly, and even bring in some retail stuff on a limited edition basis that you can look out for. So let's jump into using these new brands that have new styles out and really matching up the trends that are out there. So first and foremost, some brand new brands in the 6 warehouses we have nationwide. And you'll recognize all of these. 47 brand, very well known for their licensing in the NFL and collegiate. Legacy, huge collegiate brand, and then Imperial Headwear really made its home in the golf sector. Puma, you have sports, and then Cap America with their Made in the USA line. So let's jump into 47 brand. So two top selling styles that you'll see in practically every airport or any college shop, bookstore. It's really, again, matching up headwear with persona. Adidas is continuing to bring us new styles with both Adidas on the side. So you have the front hit to decorate. And now we've even have headwear that's coming in with Adidas on the front, where people like to take the side hit because they look at the brand leading the way. So it'll be more, in some views, it's worn more often. So the trend there, with like especially with Adidas, is to merchandise it to match up with our Adidas apparel and bag options. And some of the bigger brands will do that, so you can start building a collection. So you may start with headwear because it's a lighter price point to start someone off with, but then they'll go, God, we've had such great response of this Adidas brand. Great, let's get in a tech tee or a sport shirt or an outerwear piece, and then eventually adding a bag as well. So another key feature with Adidas is they are moving into all sustainability by using 100% recycled polyester in their products. Their goal is to be globally using in all their products 100% recycled polyester by 2024. Our line currently at S&S is 74% there. So we have styles that contain that component. As we move down the list, Cap America, 5 new knit styles made in the USA. Made in the USA traditionally always trends high during election year, which we just came through, but Made in USA has come leaps and bounds. We have Bayside as well. They have both Made in the USA and Union Made. Then we move into Dry Duck. Dry Duck is a classic workwear brand that is starting to take on a new form and go into rugged essentials. They have a wildlife series. They get into brewery markets. And again, there you can match apparel and bags. Imperial adds the much sought after original performance cap and, you know, the classic rope hat out there. Legacy, long-standing collegiate brand. They're bringing those styles in that feel. And again, we're bringing in the top styles first, and then the line will grow. Outdoor Cap, #1 globally in licensed camo, but they also get into the sports market. So we have a new functional hat there with the ponytail mesh back cap. So the ponytail actually pulls through the back. So these are the type of trends in headwear that really can start growing your business, because we have all price points down to, you know, wholesale starting at under $2. And then we go into the retail versions that get close to, you know, in the mid-teens. Puma enters with new styles, 12 new styles from Richardson. Richardson is a line that we've partnered with and grown in the last 6 years, leaps and bounds. You've, by sure, heard from now the 112. It is a trucker mesh back cap, snapback. We started 7 years ago with 6 colors. We're now up to 93 because of the popularity there. So you can see where I'm going here. It's choice, right? We even brought in with the game, brought us a full tie-dye line of hats in both a dad's cap and a trucker. So we'll take a look at that. So headwear is always trending. It always has a fit. This past year in 2020, we grew by leaps and bounds because as people started re-entering the market in April, they were looking for great price point options, and headwear fit right in there. And with people working from home, companies wanted to stay connected with that employee, and they were sending hats that when they had their casual Friday and their happy hours on Zoom, they would all wear their cap, for instance. So there's so many different opportunities to fit headwear in programs. So I'll go through some of the new styles so you can kind of see what I mean by diversity, right? We'll start with the brands. 47 brand, the trawler cap, soft mesh back trucker, the cleanut cap. This is a traditional dad's cap, and you'll have the 47 brand on the back clasp, inside the headwear tape, and then Adidas. So Adidas are starting to really introduce 100% recycled components. So you'll see when you download this presentation, you'll have the recycled polyester tabs here. And then also to mention, when you look at price here, it's all on an A. So wholesale will be half of this. So just keep that in mind as you view through this. Again, here's what I mentioned earlier, leading with Adidas. Companies like to take the side hit because they feel the Adidas brand is so popular, people will wear that hat more frequently. Others, they won't take second fiddle. They want a co-brand, so the Adidas is on the side, but their logo is front and center. And that, of course, is still the most popular. But again, some recycled options here, some nice visors. These you can see actually on the PGA Tour, because this is coming from the Adidas golf line. So we can all jump into this deeper. Cap America, you see a whole new knit line. So we start introducing some fashion. Then Dry Duck, you can start feeling that rugged, essential kind of feel. You can match this up to your client base. Then they go into some great knits, either used as workwear, fitness. I mean, they have such great looks and such nice quality. Then you get into Flex Fit. We are the largest distributor of Flex Fit and YP Classics, which you know is Yupong, in the industry. So this is just one new entry, but we have over 42 styles to choose from in Flex Fit and Yupong. Imperial, you'll see their two new selections here. Legacy from the collegiate side, very popular brand. Then you get into Outdoor Cap. Outdoor Cap gets into a lot of camo, a lot of different versions. Like here you can see a neon back with the camo front. This is using the cryptic camo, which is so popular. And then a lot of traditional USA flag type hats. Here's the ponytail hat. And then they get into new licensed camos all the time. This is known as Marlin licensed camo. And then the offering from Puma. And then you get into Richardson. So I mentioned the 112 with the 93 colors. Now we're bringing in a youth version, now starting there with 6 colorways that you can choose from. So, and then they just constantly add new styles. Richardson is really getting into the fashion arena as well. So lots of choice there. And again, backed by the quality of a Richardson cap. They just recently started adding knits. We're going to feature the chunk twist knit today. So look for that one. That's very exciting, but corduroy hats. So you can see Headwear is just, it's an endless opportunity to match what your customer is looking for. And then on the price point side, Sportsman brings us all the great styles year after year. And then last but not least, the tie-dye. Tie-dye is a huge trend right now. So the game jumped right into it, started adding this headwear. So there's multiple different tie-dye color options that you can choose from, but it's great to match up with the tie-dye trend that's out there. And then YP Classics, Yupong. This is just one new style, but we have another 18 that back up YP Classics. So that's what I have today. My contact information is going to be on at the end. This file is in the files for you to download. And so any questions you have, please contact me, and I am available and ready to go. So thank you for the time.
Thank you so much, Stefan. That was great. So now that you have all kind of taken in all of these different styles in headwear, right? You can obviously, as he said, you can see the choices are endless. So really trying to kind of carve out your niche, figure out what your region and your customer most desires. You know, here in this region, Richardson is king. The Richardson 112, I mean, you know, in the midst of this pandemic has just been so hard for people to get their hands on, and it is so desired. For those of you that subscribe to Stahls TV, you know that Josh did a whole video on the Richardson 112 on the 360 cap press. If you haven't checked that out, be sure to check that out. It's a great little video. So I'm just going to share a few slides, and then we're going to get right into the demonstration because, you know, let's be honest, that's what everybody's here to see, right? The demonstrations, the actual hands-on. So 69% of the people out there have a piece of promotional headwear, right? That's a huge number. That is a market that you absolutely want to tap into. And we have seen such a surge in decorating headwear with dimensional items, patches, leather patches, 3D embroidery. For those of you that partner possibly directly with Richardson, I think it's fewer and farther between now, but they offer 3D puff embroidery. They're, you know, I think at ungodly lead times right now for customization. But again, just the gist being that decorating headwear, man, that is the way to go. Once we dive in and we start demoing some of this headwear, at the very end, I'm going to go over kind of what your costs are, what the decoration costs are, what you can sell this for, whether it's kind of wholesale or more on a retail level, and then your ROI. So stay tuned for that. I will be going over that. I'm not going to dive too much into this. Obviously, Stefan did a great job at covering it. But some of kind of what we deal with a lot is obviously your more casual looks for sports, and then there's also looks for like protection, right? So just keeping all of your options open and really doing your research in your region and your community for what markets you can tap into and capitalize on. So options, let's start to dive into decorating options. I love selling in the good, better, best option. I just think it's great. If you can create some salesman samples, and that's kind of how we're going to demo these 3 looks today. We're going to start with the good, go to the better, and end with the best. Now, that might not necessarily transcend to the actual headwear piece. As you guys will see in my last slide after I demo this, some of the headwear pieces might be more expensive. We're primarily discussing the decoration options, okay? But giving your customers a choice, inevitably, they're going to impulse buy and they're going to go with the best. If presented with the 3 in front of them to touch and feel and look at, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna go with the best, which is gonna give you the most profit margin, likely. Recommend products that best represent their brand, right? Do some research, look at their website. Are they using these hats for employees, giveaways, awards? What is the end decorated, customized headwear piece going to be used for? And then you can kind of guide in from there. So again, selling in that good, better, best recommendation is always a winner. So let's dive in. We're going to start with the good option first. We have got this chunky twist, 100% acrylic beanie from Richardson. Such a cute beanie, you guys. In one of the previous sessions, somebody asked if we were going to be decorating acrylic and how to do that successfully. For those of you that have tried to decorate acrylic beanies on a traditional cap press with top heat only, you are well aware it is a disaster. Melting, scorching, the whole thing just melts together. It's awful. So, but with the new 360 cap press, where we've incorporated top and bottom heat, you can now sandwich it together beautifully with no melting, no scorching, nothing of the sort. Here is the beanie again, for those of you that missed it. Chunk twist, Richardson, 100% acrylic beanie, such a cute beanie. We're going to be putting a tonal look on this today, so a light gray, soft foam initials on the beanie, super cute. Let's talk a little bit logistics about the 360. Stacy, if you can paste a link to the 360 in the chat box, that way just people know right where to click and see all the information on it. But we recommend we keep it very simple, very streamlined. So we recommend 280 on the top, 320 on the bottom heat. We recommend anywhere between a 5 and a 7, so medium pressure, okay? Your pressure dial is up on the top here. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. People have been asking in the chat, does it automatically adjust the pressure for you? The answer is no. You do manually adjust the pressure here on the dial, but like all of our IQ technology Hottronics presses, it does give you a pressure readout. So you know right where you are. Again, 280 on the top, 320 on the bottom, and then our dwell time will vary depending on the product you're using. We do have a PDF that we send to all customers. I put it in the files section so you guys can locate that. It's our application guidelines for our 360 cat press. They also come in the box when you purchase the 360 cat press. You will get 3 thicknesses of white foam pads and a little instruction sheet on when to use which thickness of foam pad. Today, we're going to be doing mostly thinner items, so we're going to be using the thinnest white foam pad. A little tip that I have learned, or a little trick that I've learned doing a lot of these demos, because I have this unit in my home, so I do a lot of the live demos. I like to, on my first press of the day, preheat my white foam pad. It's thick and it's cold. Just on your first press, you can lay it right down here while you're assembling all of your headwear, getting all of your items together, and it's just preheating nicely. See, I'm touching it already and it's already nice and hot, so it's great. Forgive me for putting my back towards you, but I'm gonna load this and then obviously I'll step to the side so everyone can see. So I'm just gonna take my nice hot preheated foam pad off. Real easy, guys. I'm just gonna lay the flat back right there. We are going to be showcasing a gray soft foam. Let's make sure that I get it not flipped upside down. That would not be good. All right, it's got a nice tacky carrier, so I just place it on there. I place my white foam pad down and I engage for 45 seconds. All of our vinyls, screen printed transfers with a caveat, Ultra Color Soft Stretch and Blocker is the only product from Transfer Express that we recommend with the 360. All of our heat transfer vinyls will work, and then obviously our dimensional patches and emblems. So 45 seconds on the dwell. We're down to about 20. Super easy, guys. So you're talking a great fashion forward beanie for fall, for winter, with a dimensional soft foam emblem, and it's a beautiful thing to sell. It's great and it's so easy. So again, I will talk about costs and sell price so you guys can see that. I'm going to set this aside and let it cool. It's a cold peel product, but just so you guys can see, no scorching, no melting, 100% acrylic beanie. It's amazing. So next, as Stefan mentioned, we are going to be decorating an Adidas Cotton Comfort Cotton Twill hat, baseball cap here. Super cute look. We're going to be putting on CAD Prints Perma Twill. How cute is this? And I'm actually going to be putting it on the side panel just to give you guys some different options, some different looks, right? You don't always have to go front and center. That's the great thing about the 360 Cat Press. You can decorate 360 degrees of the hat. The only thing you cannot decorate on this 360 is the bill of the hat. We have a special hat bill platen for our standard heat presses for that. That has been a question that has come up a little bit. So making sure that your sweatband is out, okay? You're just gonna load it onto the bottom platen here. My temperature, I don't have to change. Super easy formulation. 280 on the top, 320 on the bottom, 45 seconds, okay? I am gonna spring load, push my spring load back just to lock the hat into place. No preheating necessary, guys. That's another great thing. It's preheating itself. Now, because I am doing this on the side of the hat, and it doesn't have a carrier, nothing to stick, I'm going to take a little bit of thermotape. For those of you that are not aware of thermotape, it's a very inexpensive, heat-resistant tape, does not leave a residue or a film on your items. And I'm just going to tape it down so it secures it nicely into place for me. So I'm just going to get it centered right here. All right, look good. Place my, oh, almost forgot, guys. I made this boo-boo when I was practicing earlier. So it's a sublimated patch. You do not want the sublimation ink to get onto your nice white reusable foam pad. So I take a little cover sheet. These do come in your order when you order CAD Prints Permatwill. And I'm just gonna cover that bad boy so it protects my white foam pad. Place my white foam pad down here and engage. 45 seconds on the dwell. Again, between a 5 and a 7, I'm at a 6. Perfect pressure. We're just going to let that go. So, I mean, you know, can't get any easier. This is lightweight and portable. If you guys have not even thought of getting into headwear, but we're like, ooh, you know, in the past, it has been very, very difficult to heat print headwear. Traditionally, you see embroidery on headwear because it's easier. Now with the 360, you don't have the issues. You don't have the scorching, the crease marks that you typically found with traditional cat presses. So dive in, guys. Headwear is a great way to make a lot of profit. Again, nothing to peel here. So let's see if I can show you guys kind of up close. Just peeled off my thermotape. No residue, no creasing, no scorch marks. How cute is this? Just a little pop, and I'll show you guys the ROI on this when I'm done demonstrating here. Just such a great look at a really inexpensive price, but it's all about brand elevation and perceived value. You can sell this for a tremendous amount of money. So next up, we've got a dry duck snapback mesh trucker hat. Such a cute hat. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's kind of got this like heathered red look to it. Such a cute hat, you guys. We're going to be showcasing a leather patch from Stahls. If you guys aren't aware, haven't watched any of the previous sessions, this is one of the first sessions you might be attending. We sell dimensional patches and emblems. Stacy will paste some links to all of our dimensional patches and emblems so you guys know right where to find them. Pulling my sweatband out, I'm gonna load it on. Now, the only thing I'm going to change here is we recommend same thickness on the foam pad. I don't have to change any of that. Same temperature, 280 on the top, 320 on the bottom. The only thing I am going to change is I'm going to take the dwell time down from 45 seconds to 30 seconds. We recommend 30 seconds for our leather. I can use my little slide bar here or my up and down arrow. Either way, I'm going to hit my check mark and we are good to go. I am actually going to also use my thermotape here as well because this does not have a sticky back to it. It does have an adhesive on the back, but it's not sticky. And this is kind of round and stiff, and I don't want it to shift when I go to put my white foam pad on. So I am going to take a little bit of thermotape. Cheap, guys. Thermotape is cheap. We sell the tape by the roll. We sell the dispenser. Great little tool to have in your shop, in your house. That way, you know, you just have it handy when you need it. So I am going to line this up here. It's round, so relatively easy to line up. My thinnest foam pad. Actually, I'm going to also use my white cover sheet because sometimes the dye from the leather will get on my foam pad. So I'm just going to use my little cover sheet here. 30 seconds on the dwell. Nothing to peel. There's no carrier. You are done. Let's see how our beanie is doing. Still a little hot. I'm going to put it on my cold auto clam that's not on right now, so we can let it cool down really fast. And then I'll show you all of these looks again, kind of up close, and we'll dive in and talk about ROI on each of them. Stacy, any questions so far that you need assistance?
Yes, actually, perfect timing. I just got a good question that came in. Everybody wants to know, why do you need heat on the top if the adhesive is at the bottom of the leather?
That is a great question. Great question. Let me show this to you guys first. Look at how beautiful that looks. I mean, such a cool look. As Josh mentioned in a couple of previous sessions, you definitely don't want to pick at it while it's still hot. Let it cool down completely. And then you can do your pick test, to make sure everything's on there securely. So the reason you want top and bottom heat, to use bottom heat only is really not ideal. That top heat just kind of solidifies good adhesion and bonds to the fibers of the fabric or the substrate that you're applying to. Hence why top and bottom heat is so important. It's so crucial. It really allows you to kind of sandwich it on and really secure it onto the fibers of the fabric. Bottom heat just wouldn't do the trick. The fabric is, a little too thick to get through it, get to the adhesive and really melt it and bond it well. So that's where top and bottom heat really come into play. So let's see how we're doing on our soft foam here. Oh, beautiful. So cute. Let me show you guys that. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. Let me know in the chats if you can't. Can you get up and personal there? So you can see a little bit of the dimension on here. Such a cute look, you guys. So great, obviously we're still in the midst of winter. This is a great item to jump on. So those are the kind of the 3 looks that we have demoed today. I am gonna pop open an ROI slide for you guys. So let me share my screen one more time here. Bear with me. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. Remember, we did a good, better, and best. So let's revisit. So the good option is the chunk twist beanie. We decorated it with soft foam in a tonal look. Those are the application instructions for you right there. The better option was the Adidas Core Performance Cap. All right, we decorated it with the CAD Prints Permatwill, full color twill. Great option, again, if your customer can't quite afford an embroidered patch or a leather patch or even the 3D embroidered patch, this is another great option because it gives you that texture, of a fabric, but not at a price point of an actual dimensional patch. So it's a great, great option. That's a very good option for the better category. And then we have the best, right? So we've got the Vantage trucker cap decorated with a leather patch. Really brand elevated, high perceived value. It's gonna command a lot of profit, okay? So let's talk profit. So over on the left, you've got your good. The cost of your beanie was $7.60. So you can see in the 3 columns there that although the trucker cap in our best column was the most cost effective, the actual decoration was the most expensive. So it really took it kind of up to, a best option or higher perceived value. So the beanie, back to the beanie, was $7.60. The cost of the soft foam for 60 pieces, we did this apples to apples, was $1.73. So your all-in cost was $9.33. Now, I put in parentheses, add overhead. Make sure you're adding your overhead, your shipping costs, your fixed costs, and then obviously your time and your labor. But a sell price, you could easily sell this beanie wholesale for about $18 to $20. On a retail level, easily you can command $25 to $28. I mean, if you walk into any boutique, any retail store, easily you will see a beanie at that price point. So think about this, guys. Your profit per cap is $8.67 all the way up to, let's round it up to $19. That is a huge profit margin. You know, let's land kind of somewhere in the middle and say $10. If you could make $10 per hat, all you would have to sell is 150 hats to afford the press and have paid for the press. The press is $14.95. So anything after that is just pure gravy, right? So you got to think of it in those terms. I'm a real dollars and cents person. I like to see, okay, what is my cost versus my sell price? How much am I going to make on this? And what's going to be, you know, my ROI? And can I afford maybe a second press or another press? So let's move over into the better option. So the cost of the Adidas hat was $10.62. These are retail prices, by the way. The transfer cost for 60 pieces was only 80 cents. 80 cents, you guys, for that adorable logo. Total all-in cost was $11.42. Being able to sell it wholesale between $25 and $27. Retail between $30 and $35. I was a little conservative on that. Man, when you walk into a Lids or a Nike Town, in this case Adidas, but you know, a Foot Locker, and you buy a retail Adidas cap, I mean, you're going to pay $40 for it. So profit wise, you're at, you know, 13 and change up to about 23 and change. So again, landing kind of somewhere in the middle. If you can make 10, you know, 12 bucks, 13, 14 bucks per hat, easy money. And then last but not least, all the way over on the right, you have the trucker hat, the dry duck trucker hat. Your cost of the cap is $5.50. Let me move this down a little bit here. Hold on, it's blocking my path. There we go. Patch cost, the leather patch cost for 60 pieces was $3.59. So your all-in cost is $9.09. You can easily wholesale a cap of this caliber with a dimensional, good quality leather patch for $27 to $29. Retail $35 to $39. So profit-wise, I mean, look at that profit. That is huge, guys. Sell 50 caps and you've just paid for the cost of the press. So again, just thinking in terms of always offering your customers a good, better, best option, and having physical samples, you know, at your fingertips to be able to present to them, I think is really key in, you know, in selling. And you know, these are just just a few snippets of some of the trends that we're seeing from 2020 into 2021. Headwear isn't going anywhere. You've got to find a way to decorate it. If you don't have expensive embroidery equipment, you don't have the time to wait 10 to 12 weeks for companies like Richardson to customize headwear. Heat transfer is a great option, very affordable option that provides that, you know, really high perceived value. So I am going to stop. What I think I actually have. Sorry, I have just a few more slides. So let's talk about some popular decorating options other than what you guys saw here today and what I demoed. Obviously, you have your vinyl, right? A very basic, tried and true. You could put such cute things on here. Obviously, we showcased the soft foam, but glitter flake, metallic, all of them would work beautifully on headwear using the 360 cap press. Next jump up, you've got specialty vinyl, you know, flock, soft flock. If you guys have not tried it, is such a great item. It's just, it's really unique. And it kind of provides that really cost-effective, dimensional, rich look. Glitter, reflective. People are outside, right? They're jogging, they're going to the parks. They don't want to be indoors. Reflective is a great option as well. Then you jump over into our twill, like our CAD Prints Perma Twill. We also offer a product by the name of Sim Stitch. Great product if you guys have not checked it out. And then, you know, just your standard twill as well. Then you jump into screen printed transfers. I love the Ultra Color. If you guys have not had a chance to actually touch and feel it, run over to transferexpress.com. If you don't have an account, register for one. It's quick, it's easy, it's free. You can request free samples to play with. It's like nothing you've ever felt. It's such a unique, amazing product. And then you dive into the dimensional emblems and patches. We offer full color textures in our Flex Style product. And then we obviously offer our leather patches, embroidered patches, 3D embroidered patches. And worth mentioning, I mean, I know we're talking headwear here, but all of our dimensional patches and emblems, our Flex Style, our embroidered patches, leather, and 3D are offered in a pressure sensitive version, i.e. sticker version as well. So selling a headwear item and a tumbler to go with it, I mean, it's great. You can upsell very, very easily. All right, so I am going to open it up for Q&A. I'm going to leave this on the screen for just a second so that you can get our contact information if you want to jot that down really quickly. And then I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see us. Hopefully everybody has that. Great. So Stacy, I can't see the chats.
You're good. Yeah, you're fine. I can read some questions we've been getting.
Great.
I do have some for you and then some for Stefan.
Great.
Do you know offhand, Jennifer, the dimensions of the Perma-12 patch that you showed on the Adidas cap? I don't have the sample in front of me, so I didn't know roughly what the dimensions were.
Absolutely. So it was 1.65 by 2.5 tall.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hold on. I'm just reading another one. What is the turnaround time right now to get custom transfers?
Great. So I'll address kind of both. So custom transfers at Transfer Express, if you're looking for like the ultra color, it's 3 business days from the time you submit your order to the time the order ships. And then we ship standard 2-day speedy air anywhere in the continental US for $12 flat rate shipping. So great deal there. At Stahls, it's going to depend on the product. Most of our custom vinyls like soft foam, CAD prints, permatwill, you're looking at 1 to 2 business days for proof. Once a proof is approved, you're looking at 1 to 2 business days production lead time. So guys, 2 days, I mean, you really can't get much faster than that. And then when go to place your order online, there's a drop down feature where you can select the shipping method. All of our products are, well, not all of our products, but most of our heat transfer vinyl, CAD prints, permatwill is made and produced in Michigan. The dimensional patches and emblems, so leather, Flex Style, 3D embroidery, and standard embroidered patches, those are about a 7 to 10 day business day lead time. And the reason why there's a range in there because you have the option to order physical samples. So if you want to order physical samples, you'll tack on that few extra days. If you don't, you can certainly skip that and go straight from proof approval to production.
Perfect. Thank you, Jennifer. This question is for Stefan.
Yes.
We have a customer that has a hard time finding quality and a variety of headwear for youth, specifically trucker caps. Customers seem to want to have kid options to match adult hats. Do you think your options will grow in the future? And then she currently uses the item number 112 for the youth, but there's limited color selection.
Correct. Yeah. So, you know, especially with the youth, that is brand new, the 112Y. So we will definitely, as we see that go into the marketplace and the demand come back, we will definitely grow that line. And in that one in particular, you know, it's how much Richardson can release as well to us as one of their key suppliers to this industry. So that'll grow. And then I know Sportsman, they have we have a youth option in the VC 300, and we also have the, I believe it's the 2150. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, but that one, yeah, youth will definitely grow, especially in the Richardson one. That one's bound to grow much faster because of the demand.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And then Jennifer, this question is back for you. What is the max print area on the 360 for customers that are interested in doing larger patches that are more in style right now?
That is a great question. I'm really glad that you posted that question. So the inside black portion of the bottom heating element is 2.5 inches tall. So I highly recommend when you're designing and submitting artwork for customization on headwear using the 360 that you design 2.5 inches or shorter. I like a little bit of leeway, a little bit of play, right? I don't want to take it right to the edge because, if I made this 2.5 and you've got these little ears here, right? And I took it right to the edge, I could run the risk of the little ear not sticking well, and then I'd have to second press it. So, 2.25 to be safe gives yourself plenty of play, top and bottom, to really make sure that it's on there and on there securely. And then width-wise, easily you could go 5 inches wide. So typically in patches, you're not going to see something that wide. But yeah, so the height is really what is important.
Awesome. Great tips. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't see any other new questions coming in. I think we've been answering most of them. We did get a question right now about toddler hats. 360 fits adult and some youth, but any tips for smaller size hats?
So I actually had a customer bring in a toddler hat, and I want to say it was like a 4T-ish in there. And it was a little tricky simply because the crown of the hat isn't that wide. So what ended up happening was, in order to pull the bill down and get it locked in so that the upper platen doesn't, crunch into the bill, was proving to be a little bit difficult. So, we got it to work, but it took a lot of time and a lot of setup. So make sure that if you're doing toddler headwear, you're factoring in that extra labor, that extra setup, that extra time, and you're passing that cost on to your customer. Making sure that you're charging for your time, your extra time and labor.
And then Scott wants to know, is there any harm in double pressing any of the transfers that were shown today?
So I've seen that question pop up in other sessions as well, whether it's using the 360 or a standard press. Honestly, guys, and this is just my humble subjective opinion, if you're using a good quality heat press and you're matching the right material or the right heat transfer product to the right substrate, you should not have to press twice. Every once in a while, you'll get an oops, right? I think we all saw it in Zach's session when he went to go apply the ultra color and some of the text was lifting up and he had to go and press it a second time to get that text down into the fibers of the fabric. You're going to run across that from time to time. But I oftentimes will walk into shops where people have gotten into a bad habit of post-pressing, right? They automatically just second press because I think it makes them feel better. It makes them feel more secure that this product is on there and it's going to wash well and it's going to have long durability. Really, honestly, in my opinion, it's eating into your profit margin. It's your time and your labor for not a whole lot of reason. Again, if you're selecting the right product and you're using a good quality press and you're marrying that product to that fabric correctly, you should not have to do a seal press or a post press. The only time you would really need to do that is if something were coming up or did not release off the carrier or stick well the first time.
That makes sense. That's great. And then it looks like we have a couple questions coming in on Zoom as well. I just want to make sure I didn't ignore those.
Okay.
You might have answered this, but just a refresher, how close can you get to the bill of the cap with the 360 press?
That's another great question. And really, truly, it kind of boils down to the art again. You've got a nice round patch here, right? So you can see I got it relatively close to the bill. But then if you've got something that's got more of a point to it, you have to be a little careful because you've kind of got a seam, even if you pull out the sweatband here, you've got a seam in there that connects the bill to the crown of the hat. You don't want to hit that seam and risk the point or maybe a sans serif on text or something on a font, you don't want it to pop up, because then again, you run into that situation where you're going to have to double press it to get it to seal down in there. So I always say, you know, I'm a big believer in kind of making sure it's nice and even between the top and the bottom. But I think it really boils down to personal preference and also what your client or your customer prefers.
And then just a few more questions coming in. Tammy wanted to know, what other HTV do you recommend besides soft foam that would work well with beanies? I know Jenna did a few lives on this. I believe she used some soft flock, but yeah, if you wanted to mention some more, that would be great.
Yeah, so soft flock I think is beautiful on a beanie. I love glitter flake on a beanie. You know, you have to be a little careful because you've got the ribbing of the beanie, right? So if you get a product that doesn't have any give or any stretch to it, over time, as somebody's like pulling it over their head and stretching the ribbing, you know, it could potentially like pucker the threading, right? As long as you've applied it well, the transfer shouldn't pop off, but you'll get a little bit of puckering around the transfer because the transfer doesn't have any give to it. So I love like our silicone. Our silicone would be great. Soft foam. I love the new soft flock. I think would be really cool. I've seen glitter flake, although glitter flake doesn't have any stretch to it, depending on the artwork and, you know, kind of how you create that artwork. So it's not a solid block, I think would look really cool as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know on beanies too, they also did the embroidered patches, but obviously that's going to be more of the emblem and dimensional look instead of HTV.
Right. And then that, again, you just have to be careful with the beanies because it's got so much stretch to it. You don't want to run the risk of stretching the beanie so much that it starts to pucker around the patch, because patches obviously don't have stretch in them.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's pretty much it for questions.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully we were able to end a little bit early, give you guys a bathroom break, a chance to get some water or a drink, to hop into the next session. Hope you guys have enjoyed the time together. Stefan, thank you so much for all.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been great partnering with you. Stacy, you're a gem as always. And we look forward to seeing you in the next sessions.